I'm back with another video. This time we're going to be covering rigging. This is part of the Minion series. If you guys want to know how to make this minion, you could go back and watch the modeling and shading tutorial for the minion. Alright, so let's get to it. So rigging. Now, I've been rigging a lot this year, and I've learned a lot of new tricks. And one thing I realized, most important realization I had this year was um, the number one problem with riggers, well, the beginners, right? They tend to over rig, like they add controls that you don't really need. And as an animator, I kind of know, well, based on my very minimal experience, I kind of know what I want for my animation and what I need for it. And there are just some controllers that I don't use in like over rigged rigs. Like if you guys check out Norman, he's a very basic rig, but my God, the things you can do with him, and it's so solid, it's so basic, and it's really cool. So I hope to apply that. I want to go into this with that, in your head. Um, know that we're not gonna do anything fancy. We're gonna stick with the basics, and we'll see how far we can go from there. Great. Alright, so I split everything into layers because I want to separate this. Um, the goggles don't really deform, so we'll make a system here that will help us with the goggles later on. So we'll start with the body. As for the clothes, we'll just add to a separate layer and then make that invisible as well. Yeah, you could go in and name your layers, that would be good. Yeah. So anyways, this is the only pieces that will deform, so yeah, let's get to it. So first off, we'll do the body first. Let's go to side view. And for this, I will need my shelf. So shelf, activate my shelf. There. So in animation, everything is here. Oh, everything I use. So joint tool. Let's just dive right into it. So the first joint is the COG, the center of gravity. It is usually um, the center of your pelvis, where your hips are usually. Yeah, depends really what kind of character you're doing. For now, we'll just deal with that. You can toggle X-ray joints to see the joints. If your joints are too small, here in your range slider, you see this little icon at the bottom, animation preferences. Click on it, and a window will open. Go to kinematics, then you can increase joint size. Yeah. Now joint sizes might be small at first. If you add another joint, oh dear, there. So if we add another joint, they tend to grow the further you go. So yeah, this is all I need. All right. So I'm just going in and putting joints and kind of guesstimating how much I need, how much deformation I need from one part to another. Because the minion is pretty straightforward and not much to it. I could even go straight up if I wanted, something like this. So I do know I want deformation here on this axis and just below this to act like a neck, and then somewhere right at the mouth so I can tilt his head, and maybe one here, yeah, at the middle. This will hold this entire area because we want this to be solid for the goggles. Then maybe one little deformation here before we finish. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so we have our spine. That's a good start. Now let's go on to the arms. So for the arms, I'll go on top view. Then I'll save this out first. Alright, then joint tool. Start here. We want to put a little tilt to that because we want this to bend a little for the IK. Alright, then one here for the fingers. And I put an extra one here just so it will orient this last one. And I will not have to orient that last one. And I can simply take this joint and just delete it. And this last joint will stay oriented. Alright, then all I have to do is pull this up, rotate it down. Same goes for this. And for the fingers. Okay, right. Rotate that down. Yeah. Alright. The fingers don't really deform that much, so yeah, I think that's all we need. Then I think, yeah, we can take this, duplicate that, Control D, then take that and just rotate over. Fairly simple. You might want to rotate that a bit in, so when we close that, when we clench it, it will go in a bit. And then take this again, you can rotate that, push it this way, duplicate that, take it here, rotate that a bit on X. Yeah. Alright, now go in and freeze the rotations of your joints because we do not want any rotation, so just go freeze rotate and then do the same for the joints that have rotation values. Okay. Great. Alright. And freeze, rotate. Want to do that for everything. So freeze, rotate, and that will go all the way down. Alright. So that's one out. This will be fairly tricky, but we'll get to it, and we'll see. We'll find the problems and fix them along the way. Alright, and finally the legs. We can go again to our side view. Take a joint tool and match that. In this case, you can match it. Some cases it goes up, some cases it goes down, depending on the anatomy you're working on. And again, we want a slight bend, so we won't have problems with IK. We want something like this. No. Yeah. Awesome. Alright. Push that here. Let's just go to front view to make sure that everything is aligned the way we want. Alright. Now, let's work on the eyes. Right, so the eyes. Let's create a joint let's create a joint here, side view. Bring it to the eye. Okay, now we want to match this. So I'll take my eye and center its pivot. So modify center pivot. Center pivot. So it's going to be rotating like this. I actually want this pivot. Yeah. So I have to match the pivots. Ooh, This is gonna be tricky. Tricky. Alright, let's isolate this. Alright, so take this, then hold down D, and you can move the pivot. Okay. There, and we can match that. So I held down D and V, and then moved it at Z, and we matched. We matched the pivot. Awesome. Alright, so now with that matched, as you can see, it will not go outside the eyelid, and that's what we want. Alright, so now we want to match the joint position with the eye. So I'll take this and the joint and constrain. So I'll go to my animation tab, constrain point. I want to do not maintain offset, hit apply. Then let's open our outliner, open this, and we can delete that. Alright, so now it's oriented properly, and now we can go about parenting this here. Parent. So now wherever the head turns, the eye will follow. Alright, perspective. Okay. Now, while I rig, I like doing test binds. So I usually take my joints every now and then I bind, smooth bind. I usually test the binding and see where the things break, and then go back in and then add some corrective joints. So let's go to our smooth bind options in your skin, bind skin smooth bind. Here, joint hierarchy. You want to bind that to the joint hierarchy. Then let's do closest in hierarchy for the bind method. Dual quaternion. Yeah, interactive. Yeah, it's pretty much my settings. Then max influence of 5. And then let's bring this to 4. And then the drop off rate of 4. Yeah, that's alright. Then hit apply. So now what we can do is we can take these guys. So wait, let me parent this to this. Alright. So this. Okay. Now I want to take this, constrain point, constrain that. Let's see. So it's really cool. This is my favorite part of rigging. This is my favorite part in CG. It's rigging. You can really see everything come to life. So this is acting the way I want it to. I'm looking for breaks. Don't worry about the mouth. We did not rig that yet. I'm just looking for areas that really mess up. Like if I have this, and this. Let's see. Yes, I like this. A little too much deformation in the bottom. We might need to maintain that. A good test would be the sit down, but we need the legs for that. And this bend here, the tummy bend. Yeah, but also we will need the legs for that. Yeah. So I don't like this creasing, but then again, we did not do anything for the mouth yet. So yeah. So when you're done testing, you can just hit Control Z until it undoes itself. Sorry. Sure. There you go. Right. Alright. Okay, so next let's go and do the jaw. So side view. Oh yeah, I can close this now. Side view. Hey, side view. There you go. Okay, joint tool. And for the draw, I like doing something like this. You can just point that here and parent that. Alright. Now, no, that's not what I want. Sorry. uh, okay. We needed one more joint. I'm sorry. So, for the jaw, you want to get to the center of the mouth. And, yeah. Because you want it to rotate from here. Something like this. You want this kind of rotation for the jaw. I think this is too far out though. Let's redo this. Maybe somewhere here would make more sense for a minion. Yeah. Doesn't feel right though. No, their jaw could be all the way here. Yeah. That might makes more sense. But then again, you guys need to watch. You might just open like this. You won't want any rotation, so I'm kind of deciding what to do at this point. But yeah, you know what? Let's just go with that, with just placing joints on the lips, and yeah, let's just go with that. Okay. Front view. So I have a joint here. Oh, okay, that's too big. I'll delete that. So one joint here, one joint here. Okay. Click on the joint tool again. Another joint here. Hit enter and then hit G. Another joint here. Enter and then G. Okay, that's too much. Sorry. Oh my god, where is my head? Alright. G. And then here in the corner. G. And one here. No, one here. Alright, and we will just mirror over our joints later. Okay. So select these joints that we created, bring them forward. Now you might want to go to the side view to really move them to their proper positions. Alright. Don't have to be too exact, but it's just nice and clean if they're in their proper places. Alright. So we have that. Okay. Now let's just do the proper parenting. Parent this to this. And then parent this to here. Parent that. For some people, they might want a extra joint somewhere around here to rotate for the shoulder. Let's just add that. So I'll go to my front view. Find this here. And this is what will be in charge of pushing that up. Now, everything is with... the key in rigging is placing them at their proper pivot points. Like, if you place one too far or too close, it will drastically change the way the joint works. So you might want to plan them out well. The more you know about anatomy and how the skeleton works, the more accurate your joint placement. All the heavy lifting and rigging is in its joint placement. So yeah, just gotta watch out for that. All right. Okay. So now it's a matter of going in and naming these joints. I will name a few joints, and then I will skip to the next video because naming all of this will take too much time. And yeah, you don't want to see me name all of this. So for the COG, I'll start with that. The format, there is a format. So for example, this one is the COG, or the root. Some people call it the root. For this one, I'll use root, and then I put joint in the end with a capital J, underscore joint. Some people use small letter, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go with big letter. And this one could be spine1 underscore joint. How do I know if it's one? Just look for which one is higher, and then that's usually one. And this could be okay. This one is left. So left, you usually put L, or the whole word left underscore. But for now, we'll just put left, and then hip, and then underscore joint again. Alright, so that's the formatting. Oh yeah, if you have something that's two words, for example, kneecap or something, kneecap. So if it's two words, you could put the first word is small, starts with a small letter, so knee. Then for the second word, capital, so kneecap. Alright. Alright, so I'll get to naming this, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Cheers.